And welcome back to Let's Play Skyrim! This is Mr. Joseph, and we left off here in my house. This is Dragonfall's Manor. Now, I feel like, the background hissing is a little bit stronger even now in this episode. Hopefully when the voice commentary goes over it, it'll balance it out a little bit, but, the good news, folks, is that this is literally the very last video in which I am going to be dealing with the open mic channel that was left open for several videos here. I was just pausing there because I saw myself putting the sapphire claw in the chest in Dragonfall's Manor. Seems like a very reckless thing to do because chests are by no means a certain way of guaranteeing that an item will remain somewhere. I'm still kind of experimenting with the dynamic things mod and how to keep things in chests using that mod. Now, if you look here, what I'm doing is I'm experimenting by putting certain things on mannequins in my basement here in Dragonfall's Manor. Now, most homesteads, including, by the way, I think some of the ones built into the game, allow you to, the Hearthfire expansion that is, allow you to put your armor and weapons on displays like this, like mannequins, weapon racks, armor racks, etc. And so I'm just experimenting a little bit with these armor racks here by putting these robes on these guys, which is kind of cool. They fit very nicely. I cut out a little bit. I put my silver Tontos there in that weapon rack. They don't really look that glorious, but and then they've got the weapon displays on the wall that you can use too. Now I've got boots on this one that you can see. You can basically give him a whole outfit, but I've decided to switch him up and put the ring mail on him. Which will be, I think, better looking than the robe. Yeah, that looks pretty good. See? Look at that. Looks pretty awesome. Fits very well. That's one nice thing about this game is one size literally fits all. So I'm going to head back upstairs here, and I guess the next thing I'm going to do is do a little cooking, because this is something that I've been meaning to do for a while, and, you know, if you find this stuff boring, you know, feel free to skip the video and just go to the next one, you know. But I think this is a very important part of the game,
the best part about caves is they provide all the tools for survival.
Thanks, Yormer. Okay, so I think what is great about this is that I've been looking for a cooking pot for quite some time. I had a lot of raw meats, and I really wanted to cook it up, and now I'm going to make most of it here into charred meat, although I get some cooked beef as well. I need some garlic and salt to make that happen, but one thing that I'm dissatisfied with is that I'm not able to cook, you know, all of my food. I'm only able to cook some of it. Anyway, so there's a lot of options like rabbit haunches, and I wish I could make my wolf meat, for example, into something.
Cleave to your higher voice, and with it, shatter your foes.
Volgoth is very dramatic sometimes. Nothing wrong with charred meat. Charred meat's good, solid meat. I'm making out of venison here. Basically just cooked deer meat. It's basic. It's survival food. It will feed you. It's just fine. Nothing fancy. Doesn't give you any bonuses or anything, but it gets the job done as far as food goes. He sure does hate the Imperials, doesn't he, folks? Gotta love him. And water, of course, you create with cooking. What you do is you just get your regular water and you boil it. Or, in some cases, you can combine smaller amounts of water into larger amounts. I think that's essentially what I've been doing a little bit there. But in any event, it's good to cook your water and boil it. Make sure it's boiled rather than, especially if it's like from a river or something. Speaking of which, let me show you that here real quick. I'm going to grab Lydia as my second follower instead of Volgoth, or whatever his name was. Oh, come on. It doesn't take that long to figure out how to get her to follow me. Just click let's go. Click let's go. Come on, Joseph. There we go.
As you will, my Thane. I will protect you with my life.
Thank you. People, you know, there's a lot of LPs out there that give Lydia crap for being so, and I cut ahead here. I'm doing a little tanning before I head out. A lot of LPs give Lydia a lot of crap because, you know, she has that kind of sarcastic line where she says, I'm sworn to carry your burdens, and stuff like that. And I don't blame him for getting a little annoyed. Frankly, she doesn't show the level of respect that I would expect from my follower, but you'll have that, I guess. It's designed, obviously, to be amusing. It probably gets a little old. And there are mods that you can use to replace that language, that voice acting, with different lines. Anyway, I did a bunch of clean pellets and leather and stuff, and I'm going to skip ahead here. And basically, now that I've got a bunch of leather and clean pellets and stuff, and I could make a water skin, but I think actually what I'm going to do is look at another container, because one thing that's taking up a lot of weight with regard to my carry capacity are potions. And the realistic role-playing way that Finderato can carry more potions is to make a potion pouch. So here's a leather box pouch, which is closed. This will hold up to 25 pounds, I guess, or weight points of material, which basically translates to 25 potions, which is great. And so if I go ahead and equip that, you know, you can see me here. I don't have anything on my front. So I'll go ahead and equip that by typing in the words vial here, and hopefully that'll come up. There we go. Alright, so now you can see there it is. It's on my front left there, and it looks pretty badass. So now I can carry 25 more pounds, which basically that accounts for my potions, or at least a lot of them. And that's a realistic way of incorporating that into the game. Okay, so, as I mentioned earlier, I was having trouble with this dynamic things mod. I think I'm going to go ahead and store all of my metal in this chest next to my smelter, at least until I can, what's the word? Make something good out of them. So, when the option came up there this time, I clicked yes, please make this dynamic things chest. And there they are. I just clicked on it. So, theoretically, that will store those iron pieces for quite some time. Indefinitely, theoretically. Now, I'll test it out later. But, same with this chest. I'm going to put some leather stuff in this one, because it's right next to the tanning rack. And that makes sense. I think that's what these chests were designed to do, more or less, is to be your storage for the particular crafting tool that's next to them. You know, that at least that makes the most sense to me. But anyway, after storing a few of those... by the way, it looks like I have a spell tome that I didn't read yet. Circle of Scorn. I don't know what that is. That might be part of the Apocalypse thing. But I wanted to show you this here. Now, I just went outside and went down to the river. And what I'm going to do is... ooh, gray skies loom on the horizon. Looks like rain. I'm going to use my inventory. Now, if you go into your inventory and you click on a empty bottle here, you can fill these empty bottles with river water, and they will enter your inventory as such, as river water. Okay, so I got like 7 or 8 river waters there. And so I'm going to head back inside here. And when you cook this, now you go to your cook and you go to boiled water, and you can create that from the river water. And you'll see the container that I'm creating it in. There's those regular bottles, the small, I think, potion bottles. And then there's an ale bottle clearly filled with water there. And we basically, I think, just took care of that and made a bunch of boiled water. Now, with boiled water, certain types of alchemy ingredients, including some mountain flowers and grapes and water and honey, I can create this fruit tea, which restores magicka faster, which is useful. So I created 2 of those. So anyway, cooking can be great, both for the potion-like properties it can have, and second, for the fact that it will feed you. So I'm going to go ahead and rest now. And I just grabbed a ruby that had fallen on the floor, went ahead and rested. You know, interestingly enough, you'll see that my heat meter right before I went to bed was full, and now I'm cold again. And so that suggests that the builder of Dragon Falls Manor did not set, and I don't even know how to do this, maybe Frostfall people are at fault, but somebody didn't set the heat settings for the bed area there very high. But that's no matter. I am going to get out of here anyway and continue on my journey. So one thing to note is that I left my horse, and I think maybe I recorded this and then I went back and left my horse up there after the recording of me getting to my house. I actually left my horse on the top of the mountain up here by, and I'm not pointing to it with my cursor or anything, but the top of this hill right next to Dragon Falls Manor. So I'm going to go, and by the way, the top of this hill next to Dragon Falls Manor is right next to the rock formation where that Nilheim tower was, where I fought that dragon. So, you know, I could probably see it if I look back, but anyway. I'm gonna go get my horse first and foremost.
You were rather hard to track down, I'll give you that.
Who's that? That's where Theoden Bien. Who's
I was
that?
asked to find you as soon as possible.
Is that him?
If you ask me,
the guy that
this
just appeared?
problem sounds urgent.
He looks really cool. He looks like an armored knight.
Over to the Bannered Mare at Whiterun. Speak to Lurius Lior. He mentioned something about trouble with
There's
a dragon.
Lydia, and then there's some guy. Maybe this
And
guy
the
over
promise
back
of a
here is
generous
Theoden.
reward. Sounds tempting.
Well, who's this other armored
If
guy?
I were you, I'd best not keep him waiting.
Well, he sent me a new quest for hunting a dragon. So that's cool, I guess. I become like a dragon hunter.
Paid to stand around
It's like that movie
talking to
Dragonheart, where the
halfwits.
guy spends most of the movie killing dragons. Oh, that was Hjormir, the guy who looked like an armored knight. He must have just put on some better armor that I gave him. He looks really good. Really powerful. There's my horse. So once I saddle up, my companions theoretically should as well. And they'll theoretically be following me. Now, I could go up north and to the right and all that to get back to Whiterun to get this quest or whatever. But I think I'm actually going to head the other direction. And I apologize in advance. I said I wouldn't be doing much of this, but I'm going to go ahead and fast travel. I plan to avoid doing that as much as I can because it's not good role playing. But I was literally just in Everstead, and I don't want to waste everybody's time by going back up the mountain, going all the way to Everstead again. So I'm going to go ahead and fast travel up there, if I can find a place to do so, I guess. Maybe. Thought I was. Little fox there on the trail. It's pretty. Alright. Well, let's see. Maybe when I get to the intersection, I should travel then. Alright. Well, let me check out my Convenient Horses mod real quick. Or Frostfall mod rather, because it has an effect on, okay, allow fast travel, Frostfall, okay, so I guess I can fast travel, so I'll go ahead and push map and then click on my destination here, which will be Everstead. And here we are, back in Everstead. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so, and all the bodies are gone, it looks like. Or maybe, no, I came in the other side, never mind. And they're calling their horses now, too. Good sound effects there, by the way. Okay, so I wanted to leave maybe going this direction. There's an Everstead guard. There's an elk. The elk sure are comfortable so close to the city. I think they'd be a little less comfortable. Okay, so I'll go up to this road here and I'll take a right, I guess. I saw a person just there. I'm not sure who he was, but that's an Imperial, and he's running. Of course, I immediately dismount. I guess I'll mount back up and follow him. I can't chase him that fast. Well, I could, but... And there's like a chimney just chilling right in the open. And that, okay, he's still running. I'm not sure why he's running.
I'm getting out of here.
I guess he's lost his... Oh, there's another
This should be
Imperial.
good. Somebody have fight.
Yes.
Did he
Good day.
get frightened from a battle or something, or what's going on? I am so confused. By the way, one thing that I did not do yet that I plan to is use the Sapphire Claw at that Shroud Barrow, or Shroud Hearth Barrow, or whatever it was. That's just something I forgot to do before leaving town, and I'm gonna go back and do it. But I already recorded this, and I know that I left
Damn
town before I could
Stormcloak
finish that,
rebels.
so... It's an Imperial captain, a high-ranking Imperial person. I should point out that under traditional Roman ranking systems, a captain was not a recognized rank. Actually, while we're on the topic, I can tell you that basically you have your, your soldiers, and they can kind of get promoted up the chain to something called a I guess it would be a, well, you've got your regular soldier, and then you've got your avocati or veteran soldier, and then you have a standard, which is a special type of soldier who's been promoted who can carry the standard, I guess.
My name
Then
is...
you've got your immunes.
Wait a minute. Are you an Imperial
Your
agent?
Signifier, Uptio, and Tesserarius, whatever that is, and then your Centurion, which of course
I
leads
knew
a
it.
century of
Here
men.
I was about to tell you my name is Godrod the Hammer.
And you got your
Greatest
military
son of
tribunes,
Skyrim.
then you've got your legates, and you got your commander or general.
This
So-
dump? Are you out of your mind? I just sleep here, live here, and use the vegetable garden. No, this all belongs to someone
This guy
else.
seems a little nutty. I don't even know
Sure they are.
who he is or what
There's
he's
corn,
doing. I think he's
artichokes,
added
and that
by.
nightshade-looking thing over there is some kind of dwarven onion.
I think he's added by some sort of mod. I'm not sure which one.
Of course. Not officially, but I follow the one true king of Skyrim. Not that harlot widow, what's-her-face, General Tullius. What kind of name is that for a jarl? Or a woman? General. Sounds like something I'd name a store. Or the assortment of garbage that collects under my foot.
This guy is really freaky. I think the Jarl of Sartre
Now you're
Elsa
just
Fair.
making things up. No ruler would call themselves fair. Not when the world isn't. Ulfric is no liar. He's about as unfair as a man can get. Some say he might even be Talos reborn, which is nonsense. Ulfric isn't the second coming of Talos. He is Talos.
He is Talos. That's very interesting. Whatever the hell you're talking about
You
there,
and
dude.
anyone with a brain. It's obvious Tiber Septim's been hiding since he faked his death in the Third Era. It's especially obvious to me. After all, I was there.
This guy's so weird.
What? Have you been sticking fire salts up your ass? Well, you
Jesus.
shouldn't. Sure, it feels good, but it'll give you
What?
the meanest rash.
Whoa, this guy is like totally freaking me out. He's into some
We
weird
don't need
fetish
to pray to
things. And
statues of Talos.
That's
Haven't you
just
been
weird.
paying attention to a word I've said?
The battle was
The
over before it would
Stormcloaks
begun.
are my family. We don't need to pray to statues of Talos. Not when damn Imperial spies are everywhere. Some plant mage. Probably wasn't a very good one either, using a stove for an alchemy table. Soon.
this guy is just full of spice
I'll
and
let him move
sass.
back in.
It's great. Well, I'm gonna grab all the ingredients from this shack. Now that I'm done talking to crazy balls out there. One thing, that's really interesting is that the height of the Roman Empire, they had over 28 legions. And a legion consisted of approximately 5,400 soldiers. So if you do the math on that, that's, let's see, 50, that's like 200,000 soldiers almost. I think, let me do that. Well, it's 162,000. That's a lot for that period of time. The Roman army was famously divided into 3 lines of 10 maniples, and later into cohorts, each with around 480 soldiers. So, oh, I'm just reading through here. It's very, very interesting. But, you know, each century was approximately 80 persons, and then there were 6 centuries in a cohort. So that would be approximately 480 soldiers. And then you take that.
Damn Imperial spud. Keep an eye out for Imperial agents. I saw one around here that looked just like you.
And you'd have like 10 cohorts. But in any event, for a total of 5,400 soldiers per legion. So anyway, the numbers that we're talking about here at the Empire are just nothing like the actual Roman army. We're dealing with a couple dozen at a time here at the in Skyrim, but that's okay. Speaking of Imperials, here's another soldier up here skinning a beast or something that he's harvested.
What do you need? Huh?
And I'm gonna go ahead and whistle at him. He's got a nice shield for an Imperial. But anyway, they're clearly meant to be modeled
I don't
after
think
Imperial, so it's fair game to talk about
Very
the
well.
Roman army. Did anybody watch that mini-series on HBO called Rome, that series? Anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh, this is gonna do it for this video, and frankly for this series of videos. I'm gonna resume my recording next, and we'll get rid of the open mic problem, and we'll get some new mods in there. So, you know, stay tuned. It'll be exciting. But if you've been watching, just remember, Professor Snuggles is looking out for you.